As the covers came off the new RSGP 26, one symbol immediately stole the spotlight: the lion. Not decoration, not nostalgia, a statement. A predator etched into the livery, carrying the weight of history, identity, and intent. Strength, resilience, resolve, courage. This is Aprilia declaring who they are and who they plan to become. Not a redesign, a declaration. Not just colors, a character. Not a bike, a beast. The lion is more than symbolism. It ties Aprilia Racing to Leone Alato, the winged lion of Venice, standing just kilometers from Noale. But more importantly, it reflects the soul of a team that refuses to bend, a team that absorbs setbacks, survives storms, and comes back sharper, faster, hungrier. Because 2025 changed everything. It was the strongest season in Aprilia's MotoGP history, second in the Constructors' Championship with 418 points, the first time the Noale factory broke the 400-point barrier, third in the rider standings with Marco Bezzecchi scoring a staggering 353 points, the highest total ever achieved by an Aprilia rider in the Premier class. Numbers matter, but context matters more. 19 podiums, 3 sprint victories, 4 Grand Prix wins, 5 pole positions, and the 300th victory milestone across all classes, finishing the year with 302 wins, making Aprilia the most successful European manufacturer in Grand Prix racing history. Not progress, a breakthrough. Not momentum, a shift. Not history, a warning. Marco Bezzecchi knows exactly what that momentum feels like. "I'm happy to finally talk about the bike again," he said, eyes already on the future. "I can't wait to get started. There's a lot of work to do, but in Noale, we never stop. I'm training constantly. I'm motivated. I want to enjoy myself on the bike." Enjoyment for Bezzecchi doesn't mean comfort, it means commitment. The end of 2025 gave him confidence, real confidence, the kind that doesn't fade when expectations rise. "The goal is to start the season as strong as possible," he added, "and keep doing the job properly." Across the garage, a different energy simmers. Jorge Martin arrives not as a passenger, but as a project. A rider rebuilding, refining, recalibrating. His message is calm, calculated, dangerous. "After last year with Aprilia and the important test in Valencia, our goal is to keep growing together," Martin explained. "There's work to do at the start of the season, but we know exactly where we need to improve. No bravado, no excuses, just focus. This is the year I want to fight at the front again, to win races. Once I'm 100% physically, we'll be ready for anything." All about patience, all about precision, all about timing. At the center of it all stands Massimo Rivola, steering Aprilia Racing with clarity and ambition. "We approach 2026 fully aware of who we are and where we want to go," Rivola stated. 2025 was solid. It allowed us to reach a very high level of competitiveness. Now the objective is to fight in every race. But Aprilia's strategy is layered. 2 paths in one garage. On one side, continuity, building from the level Bezzecchi reached at the end of last season. On the other, construction, developing something new with Martin. Different approaches, same goal. "We strongly believe in the RSGP 26, Rivola added. "The bike has enormous potential, and so are our riders. Not one direction, 2. Not one story, 2 arcs. Not a gamble, a plan." The RSGP 26 is not a revolution, it's an evolution sharpened to a blade. Every component has been reworked, aerodynamics refined, chassis architecture reconsidered, electronics evolved, the V4 engine pushed as far as regulations allow. Nothing untouched, nothing accidental. Under the guidance of Fabiano Sterlicchini, the Noale Technical Office stayed true to Aprilia's DNA, innovation as foundation, not decoration. The RSGP 26 is built to fight at the highest level, not just participate in it. Soon the theory becomes reality. Bezzecchi and Martin will return to the track. Alongside them, Trackhouse's RSGP machines, piloted by Raul Fernandez and Io Gura, will add more data, more pressure, more fire. Sepang is coming, and when Aprilia lines up in 2026, it won't be as a dark horse anymore. It'll be as a contender that bares its teeth. Not chasing respect, not asking permission, arriving to hunt. And make no mistake, the timing could not be more dangerous for the rest of the paddock. MotoGP 2026 arrives at a crossroads. Regulations are tightening, development windows are narrowing, margins are thinner than ever before. In that environment, momentum becomes a weapon. Aprilia doesn't just have momentum, it has belief. Belief forged through results, not promises. Because for years, Aprilia was labeled the brave underdog. Innovative, yes, fast on its day perhaps, but inconsistent, fragile under pressure. Those labels no longer stick. Not after 2025, not after the RSGP proved it could win in sprints, in Grand Prix, in chaos, and in control. Not flashes, patterns, not potential, proof. The lion on the fairing now feels prophetic. In MotoGP, symbolism only matters if it's backed by lap times. Aprilia understands this better than anyone. That's why RSGP 26 is not chasing radical concepts. It's refining strengths, stability under braking, front-end confidence, traction on corner exit, areas where races are won when adrenaline fades and precision takes over. This is a bike designed to fight late, to strike when others hesitate, and that philosophy mirrors Marco Bezzecchi's rise. Bezzecchi no longer rides like a revelation, he rides like a reference. Calm when the pace escalates, calculated when the chaos hits. His growth has been one of the quiet revolutions of the past 2 seasons, and Aprilia knows it. RSGP 26 is being shaped around a rider who understands exactly where the limit lives and how to live there without crossing it. All about control, all about clarity, all about conviction. Jorge Martin, meanwhile, represents the unpredictable edge. If Bezzecchi is the blade, Martin is the spark. Aggressive, relentless, unwilling to settle. His arrival isn't just about speed, it's about tension, internal competition, mutual pressure, the kind that sharpens both sides or breaks the unprepared. Aprilia is betting it will sharpen, because Martin doesn't join teams to rebuild quietly. He joins to challenge hierarchies, to test structures, to ask uncomfortable questions with his throttle wide open. And if RSGP 26 gives him the tools, he won't wait for permission. Not adapting slowly, not waiting politely, arriving to disrupt. Behind the riders, the engineers know the truth. 2026 is not about domination, it's about survival at the top. Ducati remains the benchmark, KTM is loading the gun, Yamaha and Honda are finally finding direction. The era of easy gaps is over. That's why Aprilia's dual-path approach matters so much. One rider refining consistency, one rider pushing extremes, one bike absorbing both. It's risky, but stagnation is riskier. The presence of Trackhouse Racing adds another layer. More data, more reference points, more aggressive development loops. Raul Fernandez brings unfinished business. Io Gura brings hunger unfiltered by MotoGP scars. Their input won't be secondary, it will be structural. Aprilia isn't building a bike for two riders anymore. It's building an ecosystem. Not a team, a system. Not a season, a cycle. Sepang will be the first true verdict. Winter optimism dies quickly under Malaysian heat. Aero concepts are exposed. Electronics reveal their flaws. Riders stop smiling and start demanding. If RSGP 26 survives Sepang with pace and consistency, the paddock will take notice. If it thrives, the paddock will panic. Because once confidence takes root in MotoGP, it spreads fast. And that's the real threat Aprilia represents heading into 2026. Not the lion on the livery, not the numbers from last year, not even the riders themselves, but the belief that they now belong, not as challengers, not as spoilers, but as protagonists, the kind that don't wait for mistakes, the kind that create them. Aprilia Racing is no longer knocking on the door of MotoGP's elite. They've kicked it open. And in 2026, the lion doesn't roar to be heard. It roars because the hunt has already begun.